Before we begin this podcast, we're pleased to announce that for this season, the 1878 FM podcast is sponsored by Green King Sport Pubs, where football is more than a game. Green King Sport venues are showing every single televised Everton game over the 23 and 24 season. And with more than 900 sports pubs across the UK, it doesn't matter where you're based, you will still be able to catch every minute of the action. Keep an eye out during the season for events, offers, content and competitions that will put you closer to the action. The Premier League returns this weekend on TNT and Sky Sports, and you can check that out in your local Green King Sport pub. Right, without further ado, let's get on with the podcast. Hello, welcome to Season 2, I'm going to call it, of the 1878 podcast, just because I think it's easier keeping up with the episodes. That's the way we're going to do it, Season 2. But all here, it's a full house. We had to negotiate hard with Andy Bush. I'll admit, Andy Bush was getting fully interest from Saudi Arabia, I'm going to say, trying to take him off us.
I had a medical at Villa, and then I've come back again.
Following the theme of the summer, Al Hilal have offered Andy Bush all sorts this summer to move on. But we've got him here. We've got Dave Vitty is expecting a knock from Interpol. We'll go into that in a minute. He is not. There's no salmon pink sofa in sight. And Ped is up sub 12 o'clock, which he is lately.
I'm always up.
Yeah, I'm going to say, hang on. There's been a change, boys, over the summer.
How dare you?
There has been a change over the summer. Ped went to Wales and come back a new man.
How?
Ped, explain. What is your morning routine?
You know, I get up leisurely, but, you know, with an alarm clock now. And then I go out for a run.
Do you?
I go out for six days out of 7, I go out for a run.
I mean, I have to say, Ped, genuinely, you know, from where I'm looking, you do look like you've lost a bit of weight. You look quite slim and you know, svelte, I think is the word.
I wouldn't go that far, lads. I mean, you know.
What happened, though, Ped? Was it an epiphany on the Brecon Beacons, or what happened in Wales?
I mean, we don't go as south as the Brecon Beacons when we're in Liverpool. But, no, you know, just decided a couple of changes could be needed. Got back, thought time to get back into the running. So I just thought best way to do it is get up and get out, rather than, you know, going through your day and then maybe going for a run later on, but then not feeling like it. So I thought, get up, get out, get back, get into work, and so it's been good so far. Been doing all right.
It's the best time of the day.
I know I don't like the hot weather. I must admit, it's horrible. I prefer it when it's cold. So all this sunshine is not for me. But
I tell you what, Ped, I could see Dave on his bike, and then you running alongside him. You know, sometimes people's dogs follow them if they're going out for like cycle. You two could go. You know, Dave's always doing loads of little routes around the countryside, aren't you, Dave?
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. We could sort of form a tandem kind of exercise partnership. But I'm totally with you on the morning thing. And I don't know whether that's just like a hark back to obviously having done early mornings for a long time, but I'm much better getting up early. I can't be asked doing stuff in the afternoon and in the evening. So I'm with you. I think get up early, get out, and then you come back and you feel quite self-righteous, actually, don't you, when you've done something before you've even started work. So fair play to you.
The postman's like my best mate now. You know, letting on, and he slowly. I don't know, like if he like not. It sounds a bit like. I don't know if he knew who I was, but then the Everton question started slowly coming in later and later and later. Getting a little bit more courage to ask more questions. And then the other day he just went to, are we getting Harry Maguire or what? And I was just like, no, mate, we're not. We're not getting him. He'd obviously saved up all his courage to ask me, but it's good.
Ped, can I ask what your jogging gear is? Are you in full retro Everton gear or Everton tracksuit, or what?
No, you know what? A bit of lycra, base layer, you know, short shorts. I'd rather have short shorts for the running.
Good to know. Thanks, Ped.
Proper running gear. Proper running gear. I look at people when they go running and they're like wearing cotton t-shirts and like big like stomping trainees, and I'm just like, how do you do it? No, I've got all the proper gear. Like got all, you know, You've got to. You've got to look the part to feel the part. I think.
Yeah. I think so. That's what I always say.
The Scouse Steve Cram. That's what we're going to call him.
Oh, what a name, Steve Cram. He's got. Well, we couldn't have gone with Ovet, could we? He's got too much hair for Ovet, so we're gonna have to go with Cram.
Steve Cramp.
Or him.
Yes.
Or him.
Yeah.
Get it. Let's go there. I mean, obviously, the last time we did this, boys, we just survived what was obviously a horrific football season.
Good job that's all behind us, eh?
It is, Good job the footy's improved. I mean, what if you... We'll keep the leisure activities of the summer to the next part of the show, which will undoubtedly be the best part of the show. But what have you made over, first of all, football in general this summer in terms of transfer activity? And before we get on to Everton's game, what have you made so far of Everton's transfer activity? So a two-pronged question to Mr. Bush and Mr. Vitty, because I know what Ped thinks, because I see him every day.
Well, listen, simplistically, from my point of view, I have just been a bit frustrated, I think, as we all have, at the fact that there hasn't been enough transfer focus on goal scorers and strikers, and I know we've got Danjuma in now and we've got this Yusuf lad. But again, when they're sort of sniffing around wingers and stuff, and you think, no, we've always had wingers, and I don't mind having wingers, but let's get some actual... That's got to be a priority. I don't understand, and you might tell me different, I don't understand why we didn't go for Vardy. And honestly, I thought that was, for me, just get him. He scores goals.
Big money, though, Dave. Like wages, I mean. Wages-wise.
Compared to what we're paying?
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I mean, so I've been more than a little disappointed, to be honest with you. I'm relieved that we do have somebody other than Mopé as a striking option. But it's just, I don't know. I just worry, and I think that having survived by the skin of our teeth for 2 years running now, and I don't just mean this. It's not just a piss take based on Saturday, which was obviously hugely frustrating. But did again highlight the fact that we are toothless in front of goal with that many chances, and to actually come away with nothing. I mean, it was a proper smash and grab by Fulham, that, and actually, do you know what? Fair play, and actually Marco Silva would have gone home with a smile on his face. But with that many chances, it just highlighted the lack of goals that we have, and unfortunately, unless that changes, rapidly, it's difficult to see us having any other kind of season than what we've had for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it? We talked about this in last season's podcast, but the concept of getting the work done early so that you seal the deal, and then why is it always so late? I mean, it's not just us, I guess. It's kind of everyone. It's this ridiculous dance that everyone has towards the tail end of the transfer window, and you don't really start. We start with players still just coming in, turning up from the airport and not ready to go. So I just wish for a good... I thought our pre-season was better than last season. Like we're not farting around in America and all this kind of stuff. But I felt like we played some good, hard, horrible English teams, which is kind of what we needed. But and they look better in pre-season than they did when, in some of those awful American games under Lampard. But I don't know why they can't... We just can't seem to have the perfect pre-season with the Blues, can we, in terms of having a plan. Is there like a plan? I mean, we've got someone who's ahead of acquisitions and transfers and earmarking players, but it doesn't really look like a plan. It's like a bit of a panic, really, to be honest with you. So
I think, I don't know whether Pedal, he probably will, because we have this every day, but I think what it is with us is because of the financial position of the football club, we are left trying to sign players on Klarna, basically. We're trying to get people in on a structure that other clubs simply aren't working to the same constraints. And when you see Chelsea just about to spend, it's going to be 950 million or 940 million in 12 months.
Yeah.
And Everton not really allowed to spend anything. You do kind of look and think, how do we compete in this league? But there is examples of teams being able to do it. And I think Everton so far, the acquisitions they've made have all made sense. Only, for me, 2 centre-foot or certainly a more experienced striker should have been maybe the first one through the door. Then all of these other ones, like Ashley Young, come in on a free. I think he's been sound. I think loads of experience, keeps himself fit. I think he'd be good. Arna Danjuma will offer goals and assists when he's fully up to speed, when he's Sean Dyche fit, I guess. We've got Jack Harrison on loan, who, when he's fit, will offer goals and assists and work hard. And we've got Yusuf Chimiti, who is 19 but 6'4", mobile, got all of the kind of attributes you would want in a centre forward, but he's not got very little experience. If they were coming in after, say, I'd have gone with Iniacho at Leicester, or Daka, maybe someone like that, rather than Vardy, just because of the wages, Dave. But if we'd have got one of those more experienced strikers in first and then these other players, I think people would have started going, actually, this is looking all right. Because I think up until the final third, I think we're fine. I think we're more than capable of a mid-table finish with that. It's the final third where Saturday once again proved we couldn't hit a bull's arse with a banjo.
There's no teeth, is there? That's the problem.
No, absolutely not. Ped, I mean, anything to add with that?
No, it's just difficult, isn't it? We are a victim of our, of everything we've done in the past, and it's come back to bite us, obviously, in the last 2 years, and we're just having to go through it. All the money we spent. It is quite funny watching other teams like Chelsea and have obviously having just untold riches and being able to maneuver around FFP like they are. And for whatever reason, we tried it and we are now suffering because of it, and we're having to do things a little bit different. Maybe in the long term, we'll look back and think, well, this is a this maybe have helped us long term. It's because we don't have the money to go and splash it on players like other clubs do. So we'll have to wait and see. It's just a really difficult period, isn't it? And it's, going back to what Andy was saying before, the last 2 weeks of the transfer window are going to be absolutely mad for everybody. I think a lot of teams are going to start doing the business now. Because that money just isn't washing about. Saudi Arabia have come in. They've been a big influence. They've been obviously taking players, maybe the kind of players we would have got in other summers. Those second, third tier players that have been drifting off to Saudi Arabia rather than staying in the Premier League to come to clubs like us. But again, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. Maybe they're the kind of players we don't want anymore, and maybe we want to go out and try and find these younger players that maybe, mightn't have an influence straight away on the team, but in 2 or 3 years, and that might actually force us to do what like Brighton have done, maybe, rather than trying to get players who are on 2 year, 3 year contracts, and then you're already looking to replace them, even when you've just signed them. So yeah, it's going to give everyone a kick up the arse, I think, and I think it's actually needed at the football club.
Sure, as well, though, heading towards a bit of optimism, though. It was incredibly frustrating, the game on Saturday, but we had 17 shots, 7 or 8 on target. Could have won 3 games with that, and it's not that long ago we weren't even creating chances. So it's incredibly frustrating, and these are the ones that, in the reckoning at the tail end of the season, it's games like this that will decide whether you go up or down, stay up or go down or whatever. But if we can put that finishing touch in, then we're in business. And I think this is going to be a problem for a lot of teams this season. That I think the gap between the bulk of teams, I'm not talking about the top 2 or 3, but the bulk of us isn't that different. Like Wolves against United the other night. Yeah. They had so many chances. If they had quality finisher, it would have been a completely different scoreline. So I think the margins are getting smaller between Premier League teams, and that's why, like we're saying, just getting someone that's got a nose for goal is just like gold dust now. But I was kind of encouraged.
I was going to say, sorry, Dave, and I'm just going to ask you this: is the way we're feeling from Saturday purely heightened because of how awful the last 2 seasons have been merged together, and therefore, like Andy's just said, if we'd have had, say, like a steady season last season, would we have come out of that game going, one of them days, we just blew all of our chances? I guess what I'm trying to say is, was the team performance better than the scoreline suggests, but because we've lost the game and missed those chances, we've automatically put ourselves back into like April and May time when we had no hope. What do you think?
And to your point, Andy, as well, much as I was taking the piss before about obviously the result, but the reality is that we have seen Everton be in situations where they're just not creating anything and they don't ever look like scoring. And actually, much as they came away with nothing, but actually in terms of what they did create, and they created numerous chances. And if they're doing that, listen, they'll be okay because they will go in, I'm not quite sure whose arse they're going to go in off, but they will go in, and actually, as I say, the most important thing is creating that, and they were doing that. So in that respect, I think you're right, Barry. I think that the performance was better than the result and the scoreline would suggest.
What if
we look fitter? I feel like we look fitter as well. I know it's only the first game of the season, but there's just a bit of a different kind of look about them as a unit as well. I think obviously sometimes he is a frustrating manager, Dyche, but I feel like he's getting some of the basics right before he can move forwards, which is something we've been calling out for ages. So, like I say, one game down and very, very frustrating, but some positive signs there. And my God, if we'd just got got a good striker over the line, things could be totally different. So it's like a wasted opportunity, really. Yeah,
that's how it feels. What have you made of the Saudi Arabia stuff then? With, we've seen it again yesterday. Neymar going there now for 87 million at the age of 31 and things like that. What have you made of what's been going on this summer there?
It's a fascinating idea. What they're doing is creating like an international dickhead league of all the biggest dickheads in football. They've got your name, Nate Henderson's out, Hendo's out there. They've managed to secure Neymar. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's I don't know. It's just really weird. I
you got Gerrard as a manager.
Gerrard is already there, man. He's already set up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I just think. Go on, Dave.
Mentioning Henderson there, I mean, the thing that just baffles me, I've done this so many times before, by the way. He's on supposedly 700 grand a week. Have you done these sums?
No.
700,000, right? Times by 52 equals. Oh, hang on, I've done it wrong.
I've done it so many times before.
Live maths.
Right. So live maths. Yeah. That's 36.4 million a year. Right, and what's he on? A 3-year contract?
Yeah.
Times by 3, so he comes home with 109,200,000. Jordan Henderson.
This man needs
age 32.
Money, though, they're loaded anyway, aren't they? So what I don't understand is, surely your legacy is more important than having even more money that you probably would never be able to spend in your lifetime anyway. Why is he doing it? I just don't understand it.
For your model, all your models out the window. Well, apparently Neymar. Neymar's getting 120 million a year, plus he gets £500,000. Apparently, this is true. For every Instagram post that he puts on saying nice things about Saudi Arabia.
It's just awful.
That's just.
If only Idi Amin had had a league in Cambodia, it would have been so different. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
Oh my God.
The Pol Pot Super League.
Pol Pot
Super League. Don't say that thing. You'll like this. The fella from North Korea, Kim Jong-un. Yeah. He'll be trying to propose the Al Super League.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, Andy, we're both freelancers. So, with the something in our contracts that actually stops us going and kind of being special peace envoys for Saudi Arabia or North Korea or whoever.
Me and Ped will go and set up Saudi Arabia Pro League Fan TV. And do poker. 4 of us can go and do the 2023 podcast over there.
Not after this one, no.
No, it's true.
Apparently, there's no IR35 in the Pol Pot, Cambodia League, so that's fine.
Exactly, which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
When you set up Al Toffee TV or something.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be good.
Well, we can do for anyone, can't we?
I think we'll do a league-wide
one.
Run over there.
Go on the air-conditioned buildings.
Paddleboard over there.
Dave will show your legs and those shorty shorts, that's for sure.
No. Them shorty shorts ain't getting brought out in Saudi. There's not a chance.
Wrap on the ankles, that's for sure. Oof. But no, it's just really weird. It's just really sad, really, to be honest with you. And it's a lot of people, swallowing their morals to go out there for one last kind of hurrah. But that one last hurrah thing, you remember it used to be like when your legs are about to go, you go and play in the States or whatever. And now it's like these people have still got at least a couple of years left in their career.
Easily,
they just disappear in this black hole that you're not going to see them again. I mean, how do you even watch? How do you even watch it? Like, when is it on, or where is it?
I don't know.
Well, I know where it is, Andy. It's in Saudi Arabia. That's where it is.
For me, it just highlights all that's bad with the world of greed, though, isn't it? I mean, I was reading when they saying that Mitrovic has been angling for a move over there as well, and I mean, you're talking about players, not him necessarily, but you're talking about players like Jordan Henderson and the like, who are just so wealthy they never need to worry about money again. Yet they want to go over there and earn $700 a week. It's just it's just pure greed.
Yeah, it is. Totally.
And what it's done as well is, like Ped said before, it's took that. I think this is what when you were saying before, Andy, about the transfer window. This has muddied the waters because a lot of players who would have gone and would have come to clubs like Everton and West Ham have found this, even with a big pot of money. Players are just going, nah, not really.
Do you know what though, about it? Maybe like Ped was alluding to earlier on, though. Maybe this might be a little blessing in disguise for Everton. I mean, go and get some younger players and stop trying to, get like mercenary last couple of years left, throw money at them.
Absolutely, mate.
Shinola kind of angle. Do you know what I mean? Let's get some young players in there and let's take a punt on them down the line and get them to play our style of football and imprint something like that on them, rather than
absolutely
last minuteism that we seem to follow all the time.
100%. Like that's been football now. We've done a lot. Let's talk about the summer, what you guys have been up to. But we're gonna go with the Vitts, because the Vitts, while he's in Spain on the run, and there'll be more on that in a minute. He has also
more on being the keyword.
It's so weird. I'm actually watching Dave's Villa from a chopper on Sky News right now. It's so weird. They're above him. Give us a wave from that window, Dave.
He's surrounded.
There he is.
There it is. Fellas in the olive groves. Yeah. SWAT team in the olive groves. Interpol latest. Dave, before we get on to the reason why you are on the run, you were up in Scotland posting some unbelievable photos, reindeer and all sorts. But what were you doing? What did you go and do in Scotland? Something 500. It looked lovely.
It's a thing called the North Coast 500, which is basically a tourist route which goes from Inverness up the west. Well, you can do it either way, but basically goes up the coast, along the top coast, and then down the other coast. And it's just over 500 miles. From Inverness Castle back to Inverness Castle again. And it's something that, it's a bit of a petrolhead thing, to be honest with you. I'm into cars and bikes and stuff. And I heard about this a few years ago, and I was up in Edinburgh seeing an old mate of mine that I used to go to college with in Warrington. And I was with him in February, and I kind of said, do you know what? That North Coast 500 looks fantastic. And he goes, I've done it a few years ago. Him and his son did it. He goes, I'll do it again, though. And anyway, I said, well, let's do it. So anyways, we booked the week off, and we did it last week. And it was just everything I thought it would be. It was, and then some. I mean, granted, it was helped by the weather, and that's the part of the world where you can't guarantee the weather.
No.
Literally, there's everything within about 10 or 15 minutes. But the weather was nice, the sun shone, the skies were blue, the scenery was just incredible, and we had a thoroughly good week. It was just like a sort of buddy Thelma and Louise type thing, It was like we were doing a bit of hotels, a bit of camping, and just a bit of touring around, eating nice food, nice few beers, and it's a good little week away.
I saw a photo of you, Dave, wearing kind of like a face net. Was that a motty? Because I always worry about going to Scotland in the summer and apparently you get eaten alive. Is that right?
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. And so the west coast of Scotland is apparently the home, the epicenter of the midge, population, seemingly. And so everybody was saying, they're going to go, if you're going to go there in August, be careful because, you will get eaten alive. So we had all sorts of protective lotions and stuff. But yeah, those hair nets that looked a little bit kind of Boy George, from 1983. But they do work, and you sort of put them on, and they stop some because they get all in your hair and in your neck and everything.
And they're horrible.
They are horrible things. I have to say though that there was only really one night with the hairnet photograph outside this pub where they were bad, but other than that they were fine. So actually, I think we got away okay.
It looked great, mate. It did look really good, and some lovely photos and a picture of a tent and two cans of your favourite drink or whatever set up and things like that. You did set the scene, Dave. You did set the scene. It was it looked lovely. And Scotland's gorgeous, and Scotland is a lovely part of Britain. And if, like you say, if you get that weather, it's fantastic, isn't it? Like Wales on steroids. Wales is great, by the way, but it is. Yeah.
No, Wales is beautiful as well, you know. But anyway, it was a thoroughly enjoyable trip, and if you ever get the chance to do it, I would recommend it.
Excellent. So from there, you've obviously done something that you had to escape the country at short notice. Get down to Calais, get across, you make your way down. So where are you now?
So I'm currently in Spain on the Costa Blanca.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Him and Dave and Paul have opened up a Brits cafe.
So myself and Des, who runs our company. So Des has got a place out here, which is where we are currently.
Lovely.
Otherwise known as the Spanish office.
Yeah.
So we said a little while ago, we kind of said, listen, why don't we go and do a week from Spain? Because, you know, I mean, his internet here is better than my internet at home. So we can do everything that we can do at home, and we get a bit of sunshine at lunchtime, and then sort of, you know, go for a little wander in our flip-flops after work. So that's what we're doing. But genuinely, like everybody laughs kind of going, oh yeah, so you're working from Spain. But genuinely, we have actually got a full-on week this week. So it's just working from a sort of nicer climate. So I'm here until Friday.
Oh, lovely.
Have you been able to watch were you watching the Blues in a local bar, that kind of thing, Dave? Did you manage to watch any of the games or anything or not?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, so I was in Scotland until Saturday night, and then I flew home Saturday night, and then I flew out to Spain Sunday morning. So I've had to catch up on the highlights. So no, the closest I got is I saw Hibs versus Luzerne on Thursday night last week, and my mate's a big Hibs fan, so we watched that in a pub in Scotland somewhere. So.
Nice, very nice. So is the weather nice, Dave?
Yeah, the weather's beautiful. It is sunshiny. It's about 32 degrees currently. Not in here, obviously, because I've got the benefit of air conditioning. It keeps me cool and fresh. But outside, it is toasty, roasty. So it's very nice.
Lovely.
Living the dream.
You are living the dream.
Completely.
He's living the dream.
Listen, Mr. Living the Dream, I've seen you DJing out in... Where have you been this summer? Because, you know, you and your mate Richie, if you're not dressing up as pirates on a big ship, you're out DJing in... Were you in Ibiza or you were over in Spain, weren't you?
We DJ'd for John Stones and his family at a beach club in Ibiza, would you believe? So John Stones was there with his family, just chilling out whilst we were doing playing our 80s versus 90s tunes.
Wow.
And stuff like that as well. So
did you have a chat with him? Did you ask him if he missed? You should have asked him. You should have said, John, do you regret moving to Manchester City from Everton and winning Champions Leagues and trebles and stuff?
I feel bad about how it ended with Stones. Like, I mean, he was an amazing player for us, probably 2 ahead of the time for us. But do you remember he used to try and turn people in his own 6-yard box?
And tell everyone to calm down.
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah.
We're probably just ahead of the game a little bit, ahead of the curve, the way that people play football out from the back now. But I don't know what I think about Ibiza. I don't know whether you guys have been to Ibiza before. But,
a few times.
I don't know if I was as impressed with it as I thought I was going to be.
Oh, okay. Where were you, San Antonio?
Yeah, right in San Antonio. Maybe it's just different. You know, like obviously I'm up early with the kids normally, so no one even emerges till about 11 o'clock in the morning because they're all on it. Do you know what I mean? So it's probably just a different stage in life thing, to be honest with you.
I think the other thing with Ibiza though is that you've got San Antonio and then you've got the rest of Ibiza, and actually bar a couple of strips in San Antonio. Sorry, it's a couple of streets rather in San Antonio. I mean, Ibiza is a beautiful place with some lovely little towns and villages and stuff. So. I think you have to get out and about. Although one thing that, and I've not been to Ibiza for years and years, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years or something, but I believe now it is eye-wateringly expensive.
It is so expensive.
For everything. Yeah. So certainly in the touristy traps of Ibiza town, and San Antonio and the like.
Well, that's another reason for us to transplant this podcast to Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely.
Tax-free.
So we can afford holidays to Ibiza in the future. So we can afford holidays to Ibiza in the future.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jordan Henderson is not sort of choking on the price of a gin and tonic.
No,
he's not in a million years.
No, he's quite happy. I don't know whether he can get one in Saudi, but he certainly can get one in Ibiza.
I tell you what, when you earn $700 a week, I think you can get whatever you like, don't you?
Yeah, fair play.
yeah.
Still can't afford Andy Bush and Richie, though. You need that Disney money to get those two.
Yeah.
Disney money, do you know what I mean?
You need the Disney money.
Bit of sports washing.
That's it. Radio washing or whatever. Ibiza is lovely though. If you go to like Portonach or even San Antonio Bay, the other side is lovely, and there's like Santa Eulalia as well. Yeah.
I think we just stayed we were in the wrong bit. We were literally just there, the DJ, so we just stayed literally about 200 yards from Bambuku or whatever it's called, the place that we DJ'd at,
right,
which is lovely and everything.
Yeah.
But it's just lots of like groups of lads walking around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If we got the car, it'd be different.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong place.
Yeah,
as I
absolutely.
say. It's literally a couple of streets.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
Lineker's bar, I'm obsessed with Lineker's bar there, because obviously got a Lineker's. They one in Portugal as well, I think.
Tenerife,
There's a few of them.
and
There's a
they're all
few,
over the
yeah.
place, aren't they? Yeah.
It's funny though, isn't it? It's like still a thing.
Yeah.
There's lots of people out the front trying to get you to come in, like Benidorm, mid-90s.
Yeah, just still offering you a free drink, even though the drinks are 37. Jordan Henderson would be fine in there, obviously.
Maybe he's good. You wouldn't need to worry about that.
No, he's
I feel
not.
like I'm listening to Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
Honest to God. Judith Chalmers.
What else then, and what else have you been up to?
Not a lot, really. Just like, school holiday stuff. I've been to a trampoline park with my 13-year-old and my 5-year-old, which was I nearly had my life flash before my eyes trying to bounce around on these trampolines.
Oh, do you know? It's terrifying, though, isn't it?
Oh, my God.
You know, when you realise that you're the older person in there by approximately 30 years.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, and then you realise that those places aren't designed for us anymore.
No.
You know, I nearly put my back out last time I was at one of them because I was bouncing, and then I sort of bounced onto a hard bit on the side, and there was no bounce at all, and I just sort of went boom, like that.
It's hard.
Like, you know,
What
that's
way
why
to
we
go.
don't belong. That's why we don't belong there.
I could hear my bones. I could actually hear my bones as I was bouncing off stuff. It was awful. I thought, if I'm going to die, this is so terrible.
This,
But, the thing is, you put yourself through for your kids, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
They're not. They're designed for young people. They're not designed for older gentlemen, shall we say?
Do you know what I did? I just as a final brilliant bit of crap dadding, I forgot the pin code I put the locker on for with all of our shoes.
Oh, nice.
Car keys in it.
Classic.
So I spent like 45 minutes or an hour for the manager to come down and then get the locker open with like a crowbar. It was just awful. Just couldn't get out of there in the end. It was just a nightmare. It was like it turned into an escape room.
I mean, you
failed.
You are turning more and more into the Clark Griswold, of this podcast. Who, incidentally, is one of my favourite characters of all time. If you don't know who Clark Griswold is, Google him and watch the movie.
I was thinking more like the British Empire. Because he's actually got a look of him.
He
as
has
well.
got a look at Tony British, yeah.
He just needs a big
Thanks,
H
guys.
on his forehead.
It's a nose thing. Is it a nose thing?
No.
It might be a nose thing.
Just I could just see that you carrying that character off brilliantly, Andy. Just
All right.
Just listening to you regale these stories. It's just
I had a
putting...
very subdued summer holiday actually, and our kids have all had chicken pox. So
Really?
I feel like it's been like, London in the 1600s here, paint a red cross on the door, that kind of thing. So then that started 2 weeks before the school holiday started. So by the time we're done with this, it's going to be like 10 weeks of just being rattled off the cash by children. So yes.
Oh, that's not good, is it? Chicken
Not
pox
good,
in the sun is not
No,
a...
so the football season coming back, even though I didn't kind of want it to come back, has been quite a nice release. And do you know what? I don't know how you guys approach it. Normally, my thing would be Everton lose. I'm not watching match today. I'm not engaging in football. Don't want to talk about it. But I'm taking a more measured, grown-up response this season and being a little bit more kind of like open-minded and watching other games and not letting Everton ruin all of football for me, which is what they did last season. I didn't really want to watch any other football because the Blues killed me a bit. But I'm just trying to watch other stuff and not take it so personally. I don't know if anyone else has got some form of new way of looking at things.
I had a... Saturday affected me a lot more than any game has affected me for a while. Just because...
Really?
Yeah, because they were terrible. Like Fulham, they were genuinely terrible. And I think the damage that Everton have done to me emotionally, particularly the last 2 seasons, but knowing that going into that game when I seen the team that I didn't have loads of faith in us putting the ball in the net, and then seeing it play out in front of my eyes with absolutely gilt-edged opportunities, and then seeing them score against, like, everyone was almost like surprised. Like, it just happened so quick. You were just like, where did that come from? It wasn't like they built up to it.
Oh. Terrible goal. Also, the one we had ruled out. I mean, I've seen that 15 times. I can't even begin to understand how that is. Well, how that's a foul. Or
how are we where we are? We seeing that on Saturday, which was a joke, and me and Ped were talking about it yesterday. He made sure he blew the whistle before the ball crossed the line, so that VAR couldn't interfere with it, which I think is a disgrace, what he did.
Yeah.
So it's his decision no matter what, because I think he knew he got it wrong. So he quickly blew the whistle. But last night, Wolves, that to me was a stonewall penalty, the last kick of the game.
Schumacher.
It was, wasn't it? He didn't get anywhere near the ball. And it was a penalty, and VAR looked at it and said no. And it's like, how are we getting worse? We've got the equipment. How are these decisions getting worse?
Yeah, it's going to be another one of those seasons, fellas. I think we're going to get more letters of apology and all that kind of stuff going on. And straight in, first game of the season, no messing around.
You know what they need? A football point of view.
Yes.
Don't they? Just let us in. I'm just saying this, and you could voice it actually, Andy. Your smooth as silk voice could be this week. We've had a letter in from Mr. D. Vitty, who wants to know why officials on VAR are absolutely fucking woeful. And you could
be a fake name.
Yeah, it was like from Riyadh.
That'd be great.
Mr. J. Henderson's been on.
That's what's good about this podcast, is that we're lucky because we have a chance to vent a little bit. It's got a kind of like a healing process, like therapy. In
cathartic
many ways,
is the word you're looking for, Andy. Cathartic.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be more.
Do you think that Jordan Henderson enjoyed his time in Blundell Sands so much that he wanted to go somewhere with more sand than there is there?
I think
more sand than there is in Crosby and Blundell Sands, and all of them put together.
I think he was sat in Blundell Sands thinking, if you could just add a bit more sand and some heat, I would be loving. Maybe he's like a lizard, really. And he just thinks, I want those arid, the humidity up and everything. I will thrive here. And Saudi Arabia was the perfect living conditions for him.
Perfect place. Absolutely.
Kids were moving from Blundell Sands to sand.
Pure sand.
There's no Blundell.
Yeah, we're loose of Blundell. It's just sand.
It's easier to spell, kids.
It is.
Honestly, it's so much easier to spell. What's the postcode? S-A-N-D.
One.
Sand.
Oh my God.
S-A-N-D-1.
One, that's it. Just the postcode for the whole of it. Absolutely. And the beauty, obviously, of the SA is Saudi Arabia. The ND. The ND is, what can the ND be? No. Dickheads, but then he's in. So, if you really...
the problem we're going to get is that Swansea are going to have problems, aren't they? Because they're SA as well.
Oh.
Anyway, we'll work that out.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out.
They've got less sand and a lot more rain in Swansea. Don't forget.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There's the kind of the differentiation between them two.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on, mate.
Obviously, Mope has had a lot of stick, and obviously he's had some horrible abuse. What's our view on him? Like, put him back in there, give him another chance.
No,
he'll come good, or you just think he's
he's useless. Like, get him out as quick as possible.
Yeah, I'll take the edges off it, Andy. He's more of a split striker kind of link player. But that doesn't fit in what Everton need. Everton need someone up front who can put the ball in the back of the net. And
So, who do you think he'll start with in the next game then? Is he going to drop him?
Mopai.
Probably will do, won't he?
I don't know. It's Everton. Everton might have someone in by then, but.
What's the story on DCL, by the way? And I appreciate that I've been out of the loop a little bit the last couple of weeks. But what is his health and fitness?
Well,
situation?
he played 45 minutes against Sporting last week and scored the winner, and then declared himself fully fit and ready to go. Can't wait for Saturday, can't wait for Goodison full house. And then the manager decided he wasn't fit and left him out altogether.
So what are the rumours in terms of?
No, he's fit. He's fit and ready to go.
Didn't they play a game behind closed doors?
They're playing
another game, aren't they?
Today, as day of recording, they're playing a game against Manchester United at Finch Farm, in which Dominic Calvert-Lewin is playing.
Dan Juma's playing.
Dan Juma, Chimiti, Branthwaite.
Mykolenko.
Yeah, but hang on, sorry, unless I'm being daft though. But if Dominic was saying that he was fully fit, even if there were doubts over his fitness, why did he not even make the bench?
Because the manager said afterwards that they have a programme and he hasn't finished the programme, or he's only at the end of that, because they're trying to keep him for the season, which in some respects makes sense, but there still is, the fan in you still thinks, yeah, but we needed them on Saturday and we thrown a game away, even if it was for 20 minutes. But I guess if you step away that emotional side and you put it to the side for a minute and you go, that's one game. And if you keep him fit now for 25, 30, because of this fitness programme, it's worth it. The problem with that is we did this last season and kept him out for 3 months and went, he'll come back fit at the end of the season, and he lasted, 3 games? But only time will tell, won't it? Only time will tell. Before we go, one story. I mean, it's been a summer of AI is taking over the world now. We're at a point where it's too late. So before you know it, I mean, I can't wait for AI referees, to be honest, and VAR. Just go to ChatGPT and just go, is that a foul? And they decide. But one story caught me eye last night, and Ned'll put it for you. Well, it's in our group, but Ned's going to put it on the screen as well. And it's the clearest ever photo of a big cat roaming in Britain. Now, Netflix have got a documentary at the moment. Oh, no, Amazon Prime, sorry, called Panthera Britannia. And this cat, the big cat's that's being spotted, looks like, well, it says a panther here, but Ned's informed me that it isn't a panther, it's a jaguar. Because panthers aren't real. So that's Ned.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Why are you listening to Ned?
No, I'm just giving you Ned, because haven't you discovered this, Ped? Think you'd have, that Ned is our extra, he's ingredient X in a lot of stuff we do. His viewpoint and his opinions are gold. So he said panthers aren't real. His classification is they are jaguars with cystic fibrosis.
I don't believe that. I can believe that there are no panthers in Newton Le Willows, but I don't think that you can say that they don't exist.
Yeah. There was literally a film called Black Panther, Ned, so therefore it qualifies it. They were named after Black Panther, the film. Panthers have been around since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid?
Yeah.
I think they'd be... How old are you?
No, what I mean is, sorry, let me...
50,000 years old?
Let me clarify that.
They were invented.
They were invented because... No, let me qualify this. I knew about panthers when I was a kid. That gives it more context.
The pollution was so bad in the 70s. Panthers
being... I'm not reading that. But, so, this has been spotted in England, and I was looking, there's actually 10 other sightings. So I'm just going to read these where they've been spotted. So a startled dog walker reported a jet black panther on a footpath between, I'm going to kill this now, but Skull Termorpha and Brickfield Pond in Rill in 2022 at 7 p.m. And I've been driving through Rill for a while. I wouldn't be happy to see a black panther bouncing along on its own, I'll be honest. John Parkinson discovered a 5-inch paw print, the same width and shape as a puma's paw in Cornwall in 2016. Local resident reported 2 large cat-like animals standing over the body of a chicken in his garden in Misterton, Nottinghamshire in July 2022. A local resident reported a panther-like animal larger than a Labrador roaming around a barley field in Silsoe, Bedford in 2016. Father and son were chased while cycling through Black Car Plantation on Warning Tongue Lane in Yorkshire by a muscular big black cat in 2022.
Muscular?
Yeah, he'd just been there.
He'd been doing the weights.
He'd been there, and Purple Aki was running behind him going, do you reckon you can bench me? A Greater Manchester resident reported a black panther running and hunting in a field off Berry New Road in How did he know it was hunting? Did they have like a stick and or a gun?
Rifle.
An air rifle and some hunter wellies. I don't know. Pensioner spotted
Pull.
Pensioner spotted the big cat with leopard-like markings in her garden in Broomfield, Essex in 2016. There's a variation between 2016 and 2022 because, and this was the one that caught my eye, thinking about Dave. Local woman startled after mistaking a puma-sized cat for a deer in a field in Scotland in August 2022. So only last year, Dave. And there's a couple of others. So, I mean, did you see any big, muscular, hunting cats while you were on your 500?
No, I mean, I saw some regular cats,
Yeah, I mean, that's less exciting, to be honest.
Just cats, right?
Just cats,
but no,
yeah.
I haven't seen any muscular hunting cats. The one thing that I take from that is the fact that there's clearly no sort of specific area where the sightings are more prevalent, because that's all over the place.
It
that
is.
Panther had a travel card, didn't it? I mean, it's everywhere, north, south, east, and west.
Absolutely.
Like all bases covered. And also, I'm also not sure that that's the scariest thing that you'd find in real, but that's another story.
That is another story. That's another story. I mean, Andy, any thoughts on those big cats roaming the UK?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously grew up in Devon, so we're very spoilt for big cats. You can't move the big cats down in Devon. Beast of Bodmin.
Yeah,
there's one in
well, that's what that
stuff.
was referenced. Yeah, the Beast of Bodmin was referenced.
But, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like, I think it's quite good. It's good for folklore and stuff like that to have your own roaming beast, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like wandering around.
Yeah.
So
How do we think it got here, or many of them got here?
Circuses, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably just got lashed
Millionaire
out of
owners.
circuses. Isn't there like
German magician,
definitely.
combos.
True.
Isn't there a thing in America where there's like lions everywhere because there was that many rich people that owned lions and then went poor and they just let the lions go free?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we're releasing it back into humanity.
Yeah.
It could be something to do with Siegfried and Roy. Those fellas who had the big cats. They could be responsible for a lot of this. All they needed to do was do a show at the Royal Pavilions or something, and the cat gets out the back, and then suddenly you got North Wales terror.
Who let the cat out the bag?
The cat's at the back.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go.
There's it. That's a good way to finish. I know you two gentlemen are very. Oh, go on, Ed. Go on.
I was just going to say, one day there'll be lizards everywhere. Once Ned releases all his,
that is it.
That he's got,
that is it.
In captivity.
And they'll all be
Ned's got
hostage.
lizards, I think.
Ned's got Andy, that's a different story.
Andy.
Hey, listen. This is next week's podcast. We're going to do a whole. We're going to do a whole. Are they amphibians? I suppose they are, aren't they?
The amphibians, Ned.
Can we do it? Can we do an amphibian special?
Ned's just
like
gone. Amphibians aren't lizards, so we'll get his qualification of what lizards are.
He's like St. Helens' Tiger King.
Yeah, he is. He is. That's gonna be a classic Channel 5 documentary in the Netflix style.
If anyone is listening to this and has got Photoshop skills, could you please put Ned's face onto the guy from Tiger King?
Ned Pedal do it and put it in our group, and then it'll be shown on next week's 1878. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Delighted to be back. Dave, enjoy your whatever you're doing in Spain. You're on the run.
Working.
Yeah. Is that camera for everyone not listening? Dave is not watching, rather. Obviously listening. Dave has got camouflage paint on from Interpol. Hiding. Keep doing that. Andy Bush, keep negotiating the minefield that is the children's summer holidays with being an international superstar. John Stones, a special DJ. You're there. You are there.
School holidays.
You are. You're nearly there, and the light at the end of the tunnel is there.
Thanks, fellas.
And Ped, I'll see you in a minute. Big thanks for listening, watching, subscribe. You can find us on everywhere, Spotify and all that good stuff. So get into it. We'll see you later.